Hi guys, welcome back to the channel Grave Visitations here. So today I'm in Fort Hill Cemetery in Galway City here in the west of Ireland, and it's a very historical cemetery. There's connections here to the Spanish Armada ship that sank and sailors who were executed, Spanish sailors here by the British authorities. So I'll just show you around the cemetery. Now the first thing I notice here when I come in, and that's the entrance into the cemetery here, is this plaque on the wall. And it says, "This plaque was erected by Ireland Assist, a subsidiary of the Spanish company Asencia, if I didn't pronounce that properly, sorry, with the kind cooperation of the Augustinian community in Galway, in memory of more than 300 sailors of the Spanish Armada who, having been washed ashore in 1588, were arrested by the English authorities, brought to Galway and executed. The people of Galway, who took pity on their plight, laid them to rest in this graveyard." So that's a lovely plaque explaining there about the Spanish Armada and the history. And there's a lovely plaque here on the wall for John McDonough, former caretaker of Fort Hill Cemetery from 1950 to 1977. So John was a caretaker here for 27 years, erected by his wife and family. Now, I'm presuming this is a little chapel here, which is really lovely. But look up above the chapel entrance here, you have this beautiful stone plaque. And you see the heart with the arrow and the skull and crossbones on it. So that's really cool, the old plaque. And I'll see if I can have a look inside. And this is the chapel area. And it's a small little chapel inside. You see candles lighting and little statues and stuff there on top of the altar. Beautiful old little chapel in the cemetery here. And all those pictures either side. And I'll zoom in and show you what's on the altar. You have the crucifixion of Jesus there as well. So that's really nice. So let's go up further in the cemetery, and it's filled with beautiful colourful flowers and roses here also. You can see all the beautiful roses as we make our way up. And this cemetery is up on a hill which overlooks the docks here in Galway City, and all Galway City surrounds it. So here we have, it looks like a vault. You can see where the entrance was on it there. And up above it says, "Erected by John J. Carwin in memory of his son Michael, who died the 2nd of May 1882, aged 28 years old, and of his wife Catherine," it says, "who died the 5th of March 1888, aged 62. And there's other monuments there either side of that, family members also. But look at all these beautiful red roses. Really nice. And some of these graves are hard to access, but this is mercy on the repose of the soul of Michael O'Shaughnessy, who died in 1886. And there's a lovely harp on that old headstone. and that old cross beside it as well, and all these beautiful flowers surrounding it. Isn't that gorgeous? All those colourful flowers, and the headstones up along. Now, so what I'm going to do is go up further here, and we'll walk around and have a look at a few of the headstones. I see some tombs here also. I have the metal bar going across the tomb here. Now there's a lot of leaves on this one. It looks like it's, the name on it is the name on that. I'm just trying to move it, guys, so I can read. Joseph Hines, who died in 1801, and Margaret, who died in 1864, and Thomas died in 1871. So they're all the Hines family in that. But you can just see from the distance here, there's a dockyard not far from here, and there's Galway Bay in the distance. You can see the mountains there and the water. That's all Galway Bay there. Stunning scenery, and really hot here today. Some Celtic crosses here also. And the inscription seems to be worn away on this one. Lovely silver iron railing around this grave. And the little gate here, as you can see, there's a lock on it there. This is Amelia Walsh, who departed this life in 1886, aged 36 years old. May she rest in peace, erected in loving remembrance by her affectionate husband, Michael, who died the 12th of June 1917, aged 72 years old, and their son Henry died in 1917, aged 40 years old. So you have these big, very large tombs here as well. So we'll have a look and see is there any names on these tombs. The name seems to be on the top of that tomb, which has worn away with the weather, I'd imagine. But just over here, I'll give you another look at the entrance. Just that gate there is where I came in, and you can see what's in the background there, the Galway Bay, as I said, and the old chapel just over there with that very cool looking skull and crossbones over the door. Here we have, in memory of Honor and John Fenton, John Ridge, Joe and Bridget Ridge, 1948, 1949, and so on that headstone. But just behind that we have this lovely one with the railing around it also, and this gorgeous angel here in loving memory of Henry C. Burbage, who died the 20th of March 1911, aged 84, and Mary Ann Burbage died the 29th of March 1911, aged 93 years old. And you can just see the angel there. Quite spectacular design on that headstone there. Now, this is a extremely large Celtic cross, very large. I've seen big Celtic crosses. I think the largest one I've come across was in County Kerry. You remember that video I did with all those old crypts and vaults in Killige, old graveyard in Kerry. There's another example of a large Celtic cross with all those knots on it. And it says, Lord have mercy on the soul of Thomas MacDonagh, who died at Buxton, England in 1902, and his wife Honora, who died March 1883. Also their children Redmond, who died at Las Vegas, New Mexico on the 30th of March 1808. Katie, who died on April 1927. Martin died in November 1934. Thomas Christopher, who died at Paris on the 9th of September 1936. And Mary Ann Belmore died in 1948. And just down the bottom it says the granddaughter Mafra MacDonagh O'Reilly died in 2019. So that would have been the last person to be interred in here, I'm presuming. But how interesting is that Celtic cross? Quite spectacular and very, very tall. But not only that, but Redmond, his son, died in Las Vegas, and I've never seen that before in Ireland. In Las Vegas, New Mexico, he died. And Thomas Christopher died in Paris. So a family that travelled a lot and got around the world back in the 1800s. So I wonder what Las Vegas looked like back in the 1800s. Look at this lovely old railing around this. And this lovely gate that goes into it. And it says, sacred to the memory of Mary MacDonald, who died July the 3rd, 1884, aged 39 years old. This monument was erected by her beloved husband, Peter MacDonald. Lovely headstone. And that beautiful black iron railing that goes all around it. You can just see a better look at it there from that angle. Really, really nice. So there's some lovely monuments here and headstones. And we'll just go this way and have a look. You can hear the traffic in the background. As I said, we're very close. And Galway City is just a stone's throw away, as you can see all the large buildings there in the background. So it's perched up on top of a hill, which is absolutely beautiful, the cemetery here. And the views all around it. Now this one here is lovely. In loving memory of our dear father, Matthew Cunningham, who died in March 1919. Also our dear mother, who died August 1929. Michael Beattie died in 1938, and his wife Una died in 1989. But just look at that headstone, isn't that beautiful? All the little lilies either side of it. Some fabulous work on those headstones. Now here we have a crypt. It looks like kind of a crypt vault look to it here, this one, and it has been closed up, as you can see, and the name on it is Andrew Tierney, who died the 26th of January 1886, aged only 21 years old. Martin died April 1887, aged only 25 years old. Martin J. died April 1888, aged 69 years old, in Vita Perdita in Mort Retroversi, If anybody knows what that is, please let me know in the comment section underneath the video. But the thing I noticed about this crypt is the dates. Andrew died in January 1886 and he was only 21. Then a year later, Martin died in 1887, he was only 25. And then I'm presuming that's their father died another year after that. So he had 2 sons and a father died all together in the space of just 3 years, which is very sad. And you can just see the vault there. So a family died just in the space of 3 years, which is sad. And 2 of the boys very young. That's the vault of the Tierney family. So I'll make my way back up, everybody, and we'll see what else is in the old cemetery here. You can see some of the old crosses. Beautiful old railings around this. And it looks like Mary McNamara. And it's hard to see a date on that or a year. But I just noticed that one of the little memorial statues has fallen here, so I'm just going to fix it. And place it back up. And I'll read that also. Loving memory, friend, you were always someone special, someone kind and true, who will never be forgotten, for we thought the world of you. And that's beautiful. And another angel behind it. So that's the final resting place of Mary. And I'm happy I fixed that up for Mary's grave. So rest in peace, Mary. So it's very warm here today, and it's actually quiet here. I thought there might be a few people here today, but there seems to be caretakers here and workers. So I hope to try and find the final resting place of those sailors from the Spanish Armada. So hopefully I will be able to come across those graves, because those are very historical, the Spanish Armada. And believe it or not, one of my family members, my grandmother's nephew, actually done some research and found out that our family has Spanish blood, so we actually go back as far as the Spanish Armada. And the name that came up on the, the search for the families and all that came up as Torres. So we have Spanish blood in our families, and the Spanish sailors that crashed off County Clare on the Spanish Armada ship actually married one of the Irish women from Ireland, and her name was Lynch. So there's some interesting facts that you might be interested in, that Grave Visitations has a connection to the Spanish Armada. So it's fitting that I came here today to pay my respects, if I can find these graves of the Spanish Armada sailors. Oh, so guys, continue on with the walk. I was just talking to the caretaker there. He's himself and his brothers and his family took over from the last man that was doing it here in 1977. So I was having a good chat there with him, and A very nice man, a caretaker here, and he tells me that this cemetery here is over 500 years old. So absolutely full of history. So we're going to continue around and look. Some of these you can see here. Now these vaults, the man was telling me also, are way down below ground. Especially the one back there, I was near the entrance where I came in, is right down below ground, and you actually need a ladder to get down to receive the coffins and stuff like that. And people still get buried here today. There was a woman buried there not too long ago. He was telling me buried in one of those old vaults like these ones here from the 1800s. Not too long ago. So family members are still getting buried in these old vaults, which I find very interesting. Now there's a plaque on top of this one here. So if I can get up, I'll have a look. Now this is what I was talking about. You see the iron bar going across? That is the entrance to the vault. Now there is a crack there, but I don't have a flashlight to look in there, unfortunately. But I imagine there's coffins in there, down way down. You need a ladder to get right down there. But just up above, you see here, I think it's actually on the other side. If I can go around and have a look. Sure, it's the family plaque on top of the vault here. And it looks like a squirrel. It looks like a squirrel at the very top there. And also squirrels there. So I've never seen a family plaque with squirrels on it before. Very interesting. 1860 I see on it there, date. Anthony is the name on that. Skerritt it looks like. This tomb has been erected by their affectionate son, Patrick. Karen, I think it could be actually. Skerritt for self and the family. So all the family are buried here. And that plaque on top is just a new plaque, I'd say, that was left there. But look at this old one here. Look at that big old railing going all around it. And the old gate. And you can just see, there we have that vault again. Entrance into the vault. Quite amazing. And the family crest is on it there. The entrance to the vault. So I wouldn't think there'd be anybody else interred in those, because they are quite old, those vaults. But you can see the door on it there. Quite amazing. And just beside that then we have a new grave here. When I say new, I mean more modern. Treasured memories of my dear husband, Martin Murphy, died 8th of July 1991, age 60, and his wife Kathleen died in 2017, age 88. And a lovely photograph of the couple there, the Murphys. So it's quiet here today. I'm here on my own. I have the cemetery to myself. And actually there's a writing on the side of the vault I was just looking at there. It says, sacred to the memory of James Killeen, who died in August 1825 in the 60th year of his age. Also his daughter Catherine Killeen, wife to Michael, who departed this life in August 1881, in the 27th year of her age. So that's a lovely old vault, and I might be able to give you a better look, a bird's eye view of it there. So this is over 500 years old, this old cemetery. And here we have the memory of Mary, daughter of Robert McGregor, Esquire. And the date on that is 1833, aged 16 years old. So that's McGregor. The name McGregor goes back as far as Scotland, as far as I know. And we have a helicopter flying over the cemetery. Search and rescue helicopter. Here's one of those old vaults again. Just look at that big iron bar going across the entrance to the vault there. Big thick stone entrance. So there's some of the vaults, and you see there's parts left on top there. They're from old railings from other graves that are just left there. So you can see the dockyards in the distance, and filling gas station, as you call it in America, petrol station here in Ireland across the road. So it's right in the heart of Galway city, this old cemetery. So I'll just keep moving along, guys, because we have a bit of time. They close at 7 p.m. here, I believe, in Fort Hill Old Cemetery. So we'll just go around and have a look at a couple of more graves. And I'm just trying to really picking out the more unique old ones, kind of. And you can see they have really done a fine job in the cemetery. Excuse me. And you see the pathways here. There's different pathways leading in different areas in the cemetery here, so it's a really nice job they've done in the cemetery. And this one here is beautiful. Look at all those flowers. I love these colourful ones with the fresh soil. And you have the 2 headstones of William Murphy, who died in 1981, and Maria Burns, née Murphy, died in 1991, aged 76. But just in the centre you have the original old cross that was like painted white, and it really looks beautiful. Stands out with that lovely white colour on it, with all those beautiful colourful plants and flowers in there as well. Now I don't know what this box is here. This is actually a very unusual grave. There's a headstone there, but I'm just trying to figure out what the box is. And the name on it, it's like Patrick Connor is the name, but I don't see any date or age on it. But I'm just wondering what this box is here in the centre of the grave. It's quite strange. At first I thought it's maybe a bird feeder thing, you know. But you can see the headstone that's on top of the grave. Now, I don't know if there's any. Very strange. A wooden box left on top of like an old stump of a tree there on the grave. So I'd like to hear your opinions on that, what that might be. It's very strange. I've never seen that before on my travels. Now there's a plaque on the wall over there, and I'm going to go over and have a read at that, guys. Because it looks like to me, I just have to make my way over here. There's a Spanish flag, it looks like, on the plaque on the wall here, so I'm hoping this is connected. Now the man in the cemetery, the caretaker, was speaking to me. You have the crows out in their numbers again today. Now the man in the cemetery, that's the caretaker here, was telling me, I was asking him about where the Spanish sailors were buried. Now there's different stories. He was telling me that it was actually the Irish that handed the Spanish sailors over to the British authorities. Some say the British authorities took the Spanish sailors and executed them, and that the Irish took pity on them and they were buried here. So I don't know, quote unquote, I don't know which is the true story, but I was just reading the plaque on the wall. So the plaque on the wall is what I will go by at the moment. I didn't hear any different from it. Now there is a lot of graves here, just stone slabs, so I'm starting to wonder, somewhere in this area, in this cemetery, there is Spanish sailors who are buried here, who never got to go home to their families, unfortunately. And they're remembered here in this old cemetery. And I just see here some Spanish, there's a Spanish flag here, and I don't understand Spanish. Eterna, I presume, could mean eternal. Gloria Eterna. Marinos. Spanish flag. So 1588, as I was saying, that's how old the date goes back to, 1588 to 1988. And I'm sure these are names of, they could be Spanish sailors, or it could be just like a poem maybe, or something that's on it. 1588 we see here, 22nd of June, I'd imagine 1988. Maybe this plaque was erected in memory of the Spanish sailors from the Spanish Armada. But just over here, I thought that was something got to do with the Spanish sailors, but it's not. So I think it's just marble plaque on the wall there in memory of a family. But that plaque, I'm presuming that plaque, because of where it's placed, that somewhere around there in the cemetery, or not far away, those Spanish sailors could actually be buried. Now, I will look into it more online. If I can find anything, I will add it to the video. But I just find it interesting that that plaque was placed there, and usually when there's a plaque placed in an area like that, you'd imagine that the bodies were buried in around the area of the cemetery there. So that was quite interesting to find. We have this really old wooden, it looks like here, sorry. It's an old wooden surround around it here, 1896. Patrick Maloney, it says. Small little headstone. We have some there with a holly bush. Now there's one here that is totally different, and a beautiful colour on it, the blue. Somebody has painted it this kind of like a sky blue colour, but sadly there's no name on it. But isn't that beautiful, that blue colour? And there's a cross there in the middle that's blue, and then you have the headstone is blue and a cross in the middle of that. And just a little plaque on it there, or a kind of a ornament at the bottom there with Padre Pio on it. And it's just unusual, the colour, and no name on it. Now there's a couple of more I want to show you before I finish up here today in Fort Hill Old Cemetery in Galway City, which is beautiful. Now this is interesting. Here we have a vault, and I don't know if this is connected to the vault, but just look at the stone carving on this. It's a person with a hand holding a tool, like a trowel or an instrument like that for building or something. You can see the hand on it there and the trowel. Very interesting. Craftsman or back in the day. And there's that old vault again. There's that old vault, and there's names on it here. Memory of Martin Quirk, who died in 1956, aged 56, and his wife Annie died in 1980, aged 68, and their daughter Mary died in 1996. So even up to 2013, their son. So are people, as the man was telling me, still being buried in these old vaults from the 1800s, even up to a couple of years ago, which is very interesting. Lovely grave there, the angels. I have the Arsenal Football Club scarf on it for the McDonough family. And an old headstone here. Thomas Carey, in memory of his wife Mary Ann, who departed this life in 1880, aged 36. Also the above mentioned Thomas, who died in 1886, aged 47. Beautiful headstone, and an old railing around that. So there's just a few more, guys, I want to show you before I wrap up the video, because it is warm here today, and I was passing through. We're in Galway City today, and we were supposed to take a break. Well, Sue is doing a bit of shopping, and of course, you know me, I found this place here and the history in it that was involved, so I just had to do it, because I don't know when I will be in the area again. So I wanted to do this for you guys, this video as well. You see, everywhere you go, there's those stone ones on the ground also as well. Now, the interesting thing is, you have this grave is gorgeous here. Just look at those flowers. All the red flowers on it. Isn't that beautiful? Amelia Walsh died in 1963, and her brothers Patrick and Martin, and their son John died in 1995, and Mary also. Isn't that beautiful? Covered in those lovely red flowers. I'm not sure what the name of those flowers is, but I'm sure one of you will know the answer to it. Now we have an interesting marble one here, and this one, and it says, erected by friends, clerical and lay, in memory of the Reverend Joseph Spellman, who died of fever, it says. Look at that. Who died of fever, caught in the discharge of religious duties on the 12th of June 1890, the 33rd year of his age, and the 10th of his priesthood. Rest in peace. So there we have a priest back in 1890 who died at only 33 years of age from fever, it says. And there's that interesting one again. And you know, as we say, you just never know what you're going to find when you come into these old cemeteries. the history that's involved in them. And you know, you come to graves here and you find it very interesting things written on them in the inscriptions. And this is a nice one here also, in memory of Frank Semple, who died the 6th of December 1951. His wife Elizabeth died in 1965. And it's a quite large but not very large monument, and I'm presuming that could go underground also as well. There's a lot of these go underground. You can just see there, Richard French Semple, 1986. So they're more modern stone plaques that have been added to the monument here of other people that's buried in there. And just on the other side of it there, then we have in loving memory of Sarah, the beloved wife of Austin Semple, who died in 1897. And you have Andrew Semple here, 1896 it says. The monument is erected as the testimony of respect and affection by his children and for them and their posterity, I think that says. And there's probably the entrance to the vault would be around there. So it's quite unusual as well. And they do carry out some work. I've seen a couple of old headstones falling over there, and there's some tools left around from the maintenance men here who do a great job in the cemetery. A lot of them do it voluntary and they don't really get paid for it, so it's a credit to these men and the family that come in here to keep the upkeep of this cemetery looking great, and a very historical old cemetery, and their local family here from Galway, so well done to those family members who took over from the original man that used to do it here, and he stopped in 1977, and I'm not sure that he passed away or just retired, but his name was on the start of the video there. So there's the entrance to a vault again. You see the ring, the iron ring on it there. On this one, in memory of Honora Brady, who died in 1844, and William Brady in 1864. So that's quite an unusual one as well, very almost like an obelisk look to it, very old. So guys, I think I will wrap it up at that. Right guys, I'm going to end the video here, and thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up button and share the video also. So from me here in beautiful Galway City, I hope you enjoyed the video of Fort Hill Old Cemetery, Galway here. So until the next time guys, take care and God bless.